The flag of the South, its history as gathered from the Confederate archives, a wonderful scrapbook unearthed. Some relics of the days of 1861, the stars and bars, and the Confederate battle flag. Special correspondence, Washington, May 2nd, 1887. And as you see, they have crescents on them. The most curious relics among the archives of the Confederacy is the scrapbook of the signs for the Confederate flag. These designs were sent to the Committee on Flags when the Provisional Congress first met at Montgomery, and they came from every state of the South. Only a few of them are preserved here. And Colonel Butler, who was a member of the Confederate Flag Committee, tells me that a number of designs received ran high into the thousands. There was thousands of them, and that they filled a box as big as a piano top. These were captured at Richmond with the other Confederate archives, and specimens of them have been selected and pasted in this old scrapbook. The book was originally a volume of Confederate Treasury blanks, and you may see the promises to pay here and there peeping out from under the many colored flags which ornament its leaves. It is a ragged volume, 18 inches long, 12 inches wide, and as thick as a man's fist. Its paper is faded and its covers are worn. The corners are dog-eared, and it bears the evidence of its 25 years of handling. 129 designs for a Confederate flag are placed within it, and these are of all sizes, shapes, and colors. Some are larger than a visiting card, others the size of this newspaper, and several are the full size of the ordinary regimental flag. These last are made of cloth, and the coloring upon them is of the brightest paint. The design which I have here give you with the rattlesnake upon it. It is as large as a sheet of a baby's crib, and it looks as though it might have been made of some such material. Its 13 stripes are of red and white, and upon them are 7 red stars, a crimson crescent moon. The rattlesnake has a skin made up of black and yellow diamond spots, and there was a motto, "Don't tread on me, it is certain death." This design was sent to the Honorable Robert Toombs, and in the letter accompanying it, the writer says, "The white stripes represent the 7 states of the South, and the red ones show that if they are oppressed, they will fight for blood. The rattlesnake represents the Confederacy. If you come near him, he will sing out with his rattle. If you do not leave and dare to tread upon him, it is certain death." Nearly all of these designs are accompanied by letters. Some are addressed to President Jefferson Davis, some to Alexander H. Stephens, some to Robert Toombs, and a great many to William Miles, who was the commander of the Committee on Flags. All the letters are full of feeling and all glow with loyalty to the new government. Some are written by ladies, and not a few of the designs are furnished by them. The ladies' letters are the most earnest and enthusiastic. One Georgia woman says she designed the flag which she sends herself, and that the hopes of the Confederacy will seed peacefully, and whether peaceably or not, it will succeed. A South Carolina mother pathetically says, dating her letter February 10th, 1861, that she has given 3 dear boys to her country and hopes the young republic will honor the memory of Washington by dating its organization from the 23rd of February and calling it the Washington Republic. She writes just as she bears the news that Mr. Davis has been elected president, and she closes her letter by saying that the Southern Confederacy has the sympathies of every Southern woman, wife, mother, and maid, and that she glories in being a woman of the South. Other letters propose that the new government be called Alleghania, and the great majority of designs are modeled after the flag of the Union. There was a very strong desire among the Southern people to keep as much as possible of the old flag, and this desire is seen in the most of the letters. One letter, which is dated Washington, February 20th, 1861, beseeches the committees by all that is sacred to stick to the stars and stripes. It says, "You have fought well under our glorious banner. Could you fight as well under another? Never alter it, and prove it as you will, but for heaven's sake keep the stars and stripe." Another letter begs that the stars and stripes will not be given up to the North, and after saying that the songs of the nations and its flags have a prodigious moral influence, it goes on, "Keep the stars, keep the stripes, keep the azure field," and then add a red cross, the Southern Cross, cutting the stripes at right angles. This Southern Cross is found in many of the designs, and it ranks with the palmetto tree. and the Lone Star as a prominent figure. Some of the ladies' designs are very curious, and some are made of different colors of silks and satins, neatly stitched together and with little stars sewed upon them. In some cases, the designers had not the paints to work with, and they had made their designs of different pieces of colored paper, cut into shape and pasted together. Here the red, white, and blue predominates, and the stars and stripes in nearly every case permit the addition of new emblems for the new states as they came in. One of the ladies' flags is 18 inches long, and it consists of 3 series of 2 stripes of red, white, and red above, and below a broad stripe of blue, upon which are sewed 7 white stars. These 7 stars represented the 7 states which had already succeeded. I give you a picture here in black and white of Design 41, which was sent to Jefferson Davis from Coffeyville, Alabama. But I cannot paint the wrath in which the colors seem to swear at each other. The design is large enough to cover a good-sized library table. It is made of heavy drawing paper and is done in crayon. One part of the ground is blue and the other part a dirty yellow. On the broad blue part, which is supposed to be attached to the pole, a big black eye is painted, and around this, in the shape of a crescent, which faces the front of the flag, are 7 white stars. From the eye, 9 sun rays go outward, running from the blue into the yellow, and there losing themselves. The letter which was sent with this design is well written. It is dated February 23, 1861, and it is addressed to General Jefferson Davis. The first paragraph reads for the prosperity of the Confederacy, and the remainder of the letter is taken up with the description of the flag. It reads, "Being a true Southerner, I have taken the liberty to send to your care a miniature flag, the emblem of which I would like to see adopted by our Provisional Congress as the ensign of our government. The emblems as seen on the flag were taken from the last scene of the Aurora Borealis of the 18th September 1859 at night. The eye is a design of my own and may represent first the President watching over the nation for the good of the people, and secondly, the all-seeing eye of God. By these guardians' care all nations have their existence. You can have the flag bordered with whatever color suits your fancy. Very respectfully, your servant, L.M." From these designs and hundreds of others, the committee finally made a report for the flag. This report was read on the 5th of March, 1861, and after a long preamble, it stated that the flag of the Confederate States of America should consist of a red field with a white space running horizontal to the center equal to 1/3 the width of the flag. The Union was to be blue and was to extend through the upper red stripe and white stripe. And in this union there was to be a circle of white stars in number as many of the states of the Confederacy. When the report was read, 4 designs of this flag made of cotton and of full size were hung upon the walls of the convention at Montgomery. The convention adopted them, and thus the stars and bars were born. 2 hours after, the ladies of Montgomery had made the first Confederate flag. It was of merino, and was run up over the State House at Montgomery, and loudly cheers. The stars and bars were not, however, a success as a battle flag. General Joe Johnson tells me that it was too much like the Stars and Stripes, and that 2 could not be distinguished from each other in fighting. General Brigard says that after the Battle of Bull Run, many persons on both armies thought that the other side had put up the enemy's flag as a decoy. And after that, Johnson and Brigard decided to adopt a new battle flag. Johnston at first wanted each regiment to use its state's colors, but this was impracticable, and another flag was chosen. And in this, I think General Joe Johnston had something with the invention of the design. The design as settled upon by him and Brigard became the battle flag of the Confederacy. It was afterwards adopted as such by the Confederate Congress at Richmond. This flag is known as the Southern Cross. It had a red field with 2 wide blue bars running diagonally from one corner to the other. And on these bars were white or gold stars, equal in number to the states of the Confederacy. This was really the flag of the Confederacy, and it has more right to the name than the stars and bars. A design similar to it was presented to the Montgomery Convention by William Miles, and there is such a design in this old scrapbook. The stars and bars, however, got the preference. They became known the country over as the Confederate flag, and they will probably go into history as such. Now we have the images of those who fought in the South, and they have on fezzes. And then you see all of these crescents and stars and sevens, which is really the Big Dipper as far as the North. But you have the North, which is really the Fabian Society, and the Rothschilds, who was fighting against Albert Pike. Also, Abraham Lincoln had a hit on Albert Pike's head after the Pea Ridge battle. So you have people from the South, but they don't even wear fezzes, and they're not even Muslims, and they don't practice Islam. You see all these crescents and stars. Treaty of Tripoli, Article 11. It is a known fact, United States was not founded on Christianity, but Muslim law. But all of you are Christians saying you're supporting the South, and you don't even wear the headdress. But you want to put it in a little suitcase and carry it into a temple and put it on inside of a temple where nobody can see it. Because in reality, in the South, you was either Celtic, Scottish, Irish, or Cornish. But now you want to call yourself white, right? And dishonor your foremothers and forefathers and their flag because you're trying to have a war flag. What about when it's peacetime? Where's your flag? Which means you're only about war. You don't want peace because you don't even have a peace flag. And you try to put Harley Davidsons on top of the flag and all that, just dishonoring the dishonor. Your flag was in 1861. You had foremothers and forefathers who had flags before then. So you're dishonoring, trying to make a new government, a new flag, a new nation, but you're foreign to the Americas. In their present condition of their endeavorment, in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world, they will not refrain from their sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth, and they fought the Southerners for all these great misuses. But I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for moral support and finance to help me in my general missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light. And that is from Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We already have on the Cornish Temple the demonstration that there was no civil war. The so-called North and South came in union years before, and they decided to make a perfected slavery, which is what the commerce is today, going through these courts, paying fines and fees and all this craziness. You've been put into slavery and it's been more perfected. Just because you can drive to another state and there's no plantation, you think you're free, but you're not. You're using Federal Reserve notes that's not backed by gold or silver. You've seen within this is said a republic. The Constitution says you have a right to a Republican form of government, but you got people that's in leadership saying they're a straight democracy, a mobocracy. In the South, the minutes we read said the South had no power, no authority, no nationality until they had to make a 13th and 14th Amendment to the Constitution. They had to cling on to the Constitution to be able to have any power. Through a 13th Amendment, naturalized citizen, which means your nationality has been extinguished. You have no birthrights because you gave it up when you become a U.S. citizen. It's a corporate citizen. It's a slave citizen. You need to return back to your foremothers and forefathers' divine creed and nationality. Put on your headdress, Southerners. Put your fezzes on if you're Southern. Declare your nationality if you're Southern. But that flag is a war flag. And if you want peace, you can't fly that flag.